Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Aaron with NorthStarJourney, and where we left you off in our last video was getting the right side windows and trim off to prep for the roof raise. So I guess we'll rejoin things in the footage kind of in that area. We took the windows out on the left side, and it looks like I did not record that, but I did record the rest of the left side as we continued to remove the trim and the outer trim sills and all of the inner trim. As most of you know, we live in Minnesota, so things get a little interesting here, and it is very much winter. So I guess you'll see us catching up on some of our video editing. As you can see, the bus is very much freezing cold, covered in snow, and we'll go back to a warmer time here and catch you up with the progress to where we were at. Tonight, we're going to learn how to take rivets out. Well, the fast way. You should really buy one of these if you have to take rivets out, because this is how it's really should be done. Get it in there nice and tight, up against the rivet, push hard, and you're done. And that's in real time. Show you what I got going here. Kind of been taking all these rivets out so we can get these panels off. I really want to be able to cut this corner. See, in this corner, it's all structural right in this exposed corner here. We want to raise it at the bottom here before the angle cuts in. You can see it from this side, the angle goes up towards and like that. So when we raise it, if we lift it up, we want to go somewhere that it's perpendicular to the rest of the bus. So that way we have a nice flat area to fill vertically. Same thing on this side. We want it to be as level, cut right across here. But I need access to it. We'll probably reuse that panel, but we need access to this hat channel. We need access to that corner rib. You can see there's just a structural thing back there in the corner. You can see the holes from the rivets I've taken out already. But that's what I'm working on getting access to so we can cut it out. My little helper doesn't like the ear hammer, right, Kennedy? Is that why you have your earmuffs on? Little trick, so your stuff doesn't come unplugged. Twist them together one time, then plug them. I was nicer than that, doesn't come undone. So I guess after that, obviously we've moved on to more prep projects. The biggest one that we moved into, just kind of trying to get ready for the roof raise, was getting the jack screw configuration set up. We decided to use the same style that Wes Lewis at Transcendence used as far as supporting with threaded rod. Worked pretty good for us, so we decided to use that style and just use readily available garage door perforated tubing. And yeah, I guess you guys get to see a Minnesota problem. My combination lock is frozen and will not open. Anyways, I guess we'll get to the garage door opener. Get into the garage another way. We used that perforated tubing, and it was readily available at the local Menards, so definitely recommend it. As far as the other things we used, the threaded rod was readily available at Menards as well, and the 1-inch nuts and washers also were available just off the shelf. Pretty reasonable. Threaded rod was a little expensive there in comparison to someplace like maybe a welding supply. That's usually the most cost-effective place to find that. But if you don't have a welding supply nearby, your Home Depot or Menards probably will have it. Lowe's is a little more, what do I call them? They're consumer, retail based. Sometimes they don't have some of that. These are the finished products we ended up with. As you can see, we cut down that material and we just welded them directly to the plate, and they worked slick. They worked really, really well. Considering the amount of time and money invested, we ended up using 3 pairs. I know Wes had used 2 successfully a number of times. I was a little concerned, being that we weren't 100% sure if we were going to get it all done in 1 or 2 days. Just the fact that 4 supports is weight-wise enough, but if there was any twist or if something shifted, it didn't leave a lot of room for error. So we decided to put a lift point in the middle, which actually worked out really well because the roof actually sagged a little bit in the middle when we were lifting it. So the measurements, when we were checking the measurements, it flexes a lot more than you would ever imagine. You think this big metal roof should be nice and firm, but it's actually pretty pliable once you cut all. We started off with the raw materials, like I mentioned, and my dad was as gracious to help. At the time, I hadn't acquired the metalworking supplies and equipment yet, so we went over there, used his bandsaw and his sander to prep the pieces. Welded all of them, and then final assembled, so we were ready for the roof raise. So they were prepped, ready to go. One of the things I've learned when trying to do this video stuff is it's a challenge. There's nothing easy about it. More or less just the learning curve. I mean, I'm good at building stuff, but when it comes to some of this, like editing and color correction and audio and all these, I mean, that's a whole other world. I mean, I can take apart an engine and figure out what's wrong with it and make it run again, but this is a whole different challenge, which is kind of fun. I like to do challenges.